All right, we should be in the journey or the part of your journey where we want to do some configuration. So Lansweeper has been deployed. You have a hub and a sensor that has been deployed, whether it's on the same server, different servers, it really doesn't matter. You're going to see that you can make these selections inside of the configuration items. So we're going to be looking at credentials. We're going to be looking at scan targets. So let's talk about these things a little bit. And again, your type of deployment is not, yes, it's going to be important in the play of this, but in the end, creating credentials, creating some discovery target actions and these targets is not going to be determined based off of your deployment. So let's first of all look at a couple things when we start considering and looking at the idea of configuring Lansweeper. So we're first going to be looking at discovery credentials. So the credentials are going to be really important. Lansweeper is not a hacking tool, so it needs the permissions in order to be able to get in and do that discovery. So making sure you have set up the proper permissions. We've talked about a little bit about permissions before, but getting into the requirements, if you look in the community, you can go to community.lansweeper.com, and under the knowledge base, there's going to be the knowledge base for the requirements to be able to scan Windows devices, domain-based devices, Linux devices, and so forth. So making sure those proper permissions are in place, and whether they're the local permissions that you need on the local machine, I'm thinking like Windows and even Mac, that they're located local in the machine, or whether they're domain based. It doesn't really matter, just as long as they have the proper permissions to be able to get that information. So what really there's not an exact way on which one you should create first. I like to recommend you create your credentials first, because part of the discovery action process and configuring that is to select which credentials you want to go and be used inside of a discovery action. So if those credentials aren't created first, it just creates extra steps. You would go in to create the credentials, and it takes you out of that module and puts you into another module, and then you have to go back. But you're not going to break anything, and it's not going to restrict you from creating those things. It just makes you have extra steps. So create your credentials first. Then once, and we, what, let's just do that. Let's look at Lansweeper here. So here I am inside of my network discovery site. I'm going to create some credentials. So I've already got some credentials created because I've used them before. So I've got several different credentials that I have created, has all the proper permissions and such throughout my network. But I've recently just added a new hub and sensor, and maybe I want to go and create a new discovery action. So for that environment. So I'm going to create some new credentials here, and let's go through those steps and see what it takes to make these credentials. It's pretty easy, but let's just go through a couple of them so you can get a feel of what this looks like. Okay, to start, we're going to come up here to the upper right corner. We're going to create a credential and give our credential a name here. And I'm going to put in local Windows. And since these are my little blueprints, and I'm going to say this is my Windows credential to be able to scan my Windows assets. Scroll down here a little ways, and I'll put in my credentials real quick from my repository. There we go. And once I have those completed, then I need to come back up here to the top, and there's another tab I need to complete. And this is going to assign which hub is going to have these credentials. So the hub is what is storing all of your credentials. Realize that your credentials that you create, though you're putting them into the web console that is based in the cloud is purely it will encrypt it and pass it back down to your hub, and it will be re-encrypted there on your hub. So Lansweeper does not host or does not store any of your credentials in our cloud-based environment. Your credentials are yours. So what I want to do is select the new server that I have just deployed, and I'm going to select this one here as my hub that's going to be storing that, and I'm going to say to create. And that credential then has now been stored. If I go back to my credential list, I'll be able to see my newly created local Windows blueprint. So I want to use this now in my new IP range that I have, where I have deployed, as an example, my new sensor. So I'm going to come into an action, and I'm going to create a new action. This is going to be an agentless action, meaning it's going to be done through the sensor, not through agents. And put a new one up here. And which targets am I going to create? So if I add a new target, we can see the different types of targets. You can see the different types of samples that they have down here. Or if we have an Active Directory, we can say whether it's computers, users, and computers, or only, or both. If you have a specific DNS name, ADSI path, so forth. If you have a custom port as well. Notice too that we have LDAP-S for secure. I'm just going to be doing IP range. Put my IP range in there. And there we go. And create that. And now my IP range is in here. If I wanted to add in some more, I could add maybe another a range of that you might want to run at the same time here. So you can add several of them in here for a single location. But realize what you're doing here in my next section, or second to next section here, is the triggers. And so if you wanted to run maybe another set of IPs and an Active Directory in here, and you set a trigger to run, that trigger, maybe a schedule, will then run all of those at the same time. So let's make sure that you have that you're scheduled and you want to run those at the same running them at the same time. So if you want to have them separate, then you need to create separate. So you might want to name this, in my case, Cyberdyne servers, and then Cyberdyne workstations, or something like that, to be scanned at different times. If you have exclusions, you can create those exclusions in here. Those exclusions will only be applied to this this discovery action itself. These are not global exclusions. The global exclusions are going to be configured in another location. The global exclusions and how that works is it will exclude it from the passive listening. It's going to exclude it from other IP ranges, Active Directory, or other areas. But in this case, the exclusions are only going to apply right here. I don't have any of those, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to create a new trigger. And the triggers, you can have multiple in a single. So you don't have to have just a single trigger. In this case, you can run it instant. You can run it reoccurring. Instant basically means it's at a scheduled time on a selected day. Reoccurring is running it every so many hours. I like to run these, do what they have listed here as an instant. Let's change this to 12:30. Here, and I only want to run this a couple days out of the week. So I'm going to select a Tuesday and a Friday and create that. And let's just say maybe I wanted to run it at a different time of the day. Maybe I wanted to run it first thing in the morning rather than around the noon hour. So I can create another one. And I'm also going to run those on a Tuesday and a Friday. But there's actually, let's do something creative. Let's do a Monday and a Thursday. Here we go. That'll be fun. And we'll do this at 8 o'clock. Let's do 8:30 because people start coming in the office around 8, and we can trigger this to run off at 8:30. Go ahead and create that. And so that way we have a schedule running on a Monday at 8:30 in the morning, Tuesday at 12:30, and then a Thursday and a Friday as well at those times. So that has been created. And you'll notice that as I've been filling this out, we can now assign sensors. Which sensor is going to be running this action? So I'm going to select this, and I have a couple different sensors. Though I'm going to be running it on my dedicated IT sensor here that on this new server we created, I want to point something out. You can see that we have these two other sensors, and really the best way to know is to come over here and select the type of sensor. So when you see an IT versus an OT sensor, make sure that you're selecting the correct sensor. Like I said, since I have two sensors here on the same server, you might get confused thinking you're selecting the IT sensor when you're actually selecting the OT sensor. So just make sure you select the right one. In this case, I have that one sensor. And now that I've created this, you can see that a credentials tab is opened up. I can create a credential tab. And in this case, I have the ability, because you can see these others are grayed out because those are not available on the hub that is associated to this particular credential. I only have access to this one. So I'm going to select that one. And at that point, I am done. I can say create this action. The action is now created, and I have the option of going back and looking back at my actions here by selecting this. I can do any other minor tweaks that I want to do. I can also trigger this to start right now, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to trigger this to start, and you should see a pop-up saying that this has been started. With that, then we can go into the server and see the action actually taking place. So here we are at the hub where this has been installed. This is my IT sensor, and I'm going to go into the discovery queue. Let this think, and there it is. There's my Cyberdyne discovery action. It's already starting to do deep scans on these particular IP ranges and IP addresses that it has found in here. It's going through that process, and give it a few minutes and we'll start seeing these propagate into my environment. And with that, we have created a new discovery action. We can create some more discovery actions. We can look at Active Directory discovery actions like we talked about. You can also do cloud-based discovery actions. So let's take a look at some cloud discovery actions real briefly and see what that, some new things we can learn about that. Back here now in my configuration, my discovery actions, I'm going to select a new scanning target, or excuse me, a discovery action. I'm going to create an action here. And this time I'm going to select cloud. Now remember, a cloud discovery action does not require any kind of an installation. It does not require the installation in the cloud. It doesn't require it on-prem. It just is configured here, and the Lansweeper platform then will communicate to the appropriate cloud environment. So I'll show you here. Let's create this cloud, say create here, and you can see currently the five different platforms that we have access to: Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Intune, and 365 or Entra ID. We can create a new, put the name in here. Instead of creating this because it requires a lot of permissions, I think what I'm going to say is this about the cloud discovery actions. Each one is going to require unique configurations, and we have KB articles that walk you through these. Instead of going through these one by one and explaining each of them, I think it's going to be easiest for me just to kind of click on these, show you what they are. We'll talk about it briefly, but in the end, step-by-step instructions are going to be easier done and followed through a KB article rather than here in this video. But you can understand, you need to have your tenant ID, the application ID. We can scroll down here. We can see the different types of assets that you might want to discover. You can select the different types of assets that you're going to come after. Scroll down a little bit further. We can do different resource groups if you do want to do any tagging or filters. And of course, finally, the trigger. If I scroll back up here to the top and select AWS, my selection items names are different down here. So now I've got an ARN, the account role ARN, the reading role names. Even some of the types of assets now are also going to change because these are unique to AWS. We have the different regions that they're in. AWS has got some tags and labels as well. So some of these different cloud-based environments use the word tags, other ones use the word labels. So each one is slightly different as you go through these. It's important that you understand the differences that is needed for your cloud-based environment, because each one is going to be unique. And when scanning occurs, it's going to be creating basically a virtual environment, doing the discovery, spinning something up, temporarily doing the discovery, and then spinning that back down. And so we have in all the training documents and materials we have and the KB articles we have available, it explains all these details for each of these types of discovery actions for the cloud. I would strongly encourage you, if you have a cloud-based environment, to use the cloud connector here and get your assets that are found in the cloud, bring those into Lansweeper as well. Brings a lot more clarity, a lot more understanding. And what's really great about it is once that is all discovered, which we'll talk more about later, we even can create diagrams about your virtual environments, network environments, as well as your cloud environments. And so your cloud environment will also have a network diagram to be able to present to you what Lansweeper sees, how things are connected, and it creates a much better picture, a complete picture of what's going on and the assets that you're responsible for. So next, I want to talk to you a little bit about credential best practices. There's some things that we have found for security teams and ways to really manage your assets and your credentials to make sure that things are being discovered the way you want them to be discovered and still be able to keep your environment safe. So tune in for that next video here where we're going to talk about the credential best practices.